Hey RT Youth, I just got your DM. My name is Shannon Sullivan. I'm currently serving as a missionary in El Salvador in Central America. And I'm going to be here to answer the question, how do I know if I'm in an unhealthy relationship? This is such a good question. I know I've had my fair share of unhealthy relationships, and I would love to pass on that information to all of you. The first thing to really remember is that when we start liking someone, we start dating them, you start getting all of those butterflies in your stomach, our brain chemistry actually changes. They say that people who are in love or infatuated with somebody, their brain looks similar to someone who is drunk. So it can be really hard for us to make wise, logical decisions when we really like someone or we're with somebody that means a lot to us, okay? So first thing to remember is you may not always be able to trust your heart and your gut to tell you when something is not healthy, okay? So there's two really good ways to know if something in your relationship isn't healthy or the relationship is completely unhealthy. And that's if your friends, and more importantly, your leaders and mentors are telling you that the relationship is not healthy, and if you're afraid to tell your friends and leaders certain things about the relationship. Those are two really good red flags to say, wait a minute, maybe what's going on here is not normal and is not healthy. Now, obviously, everybody fights, right? If you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, there are gonna be times where things are a little on edge. That's totally normal. But when there are things that everyone is telling you, this isn't good, or there's things that you're afraid to tell them, that's when you can start to say, hey, this might not be a really good or healthy thing. So some things that might look like is, maybe they're trying to turn you into someone you're not. Maybe you feel like you have to wear different clothes, or activities that you really enjoyed you're not really allowed to do anymore, or they dismiss music or movies that you really like, and blow that kind of stuff over and say, hey, don't do that anymore. And that's a really good way to know that maybe this is not a good or healthy or loving relationship. Okay, maybe you're not able to hang out with your friends as much. If you have to talk to your friends and constantly make up excuses for why you can't hang out because he either wants all your time or she always wants your time, or they want you to spend all their time with their friends, that's another huge indication that maybe this is not a healthy relationship. If the relationship is only physical, so if someone asks you, what do you guys do together? And all you can think of is physical stuff, is maybe especially stuff that you would be afraid to tell your pastor or your leaders, that's another indication that maybe this isn't founded on love and respect and a deep sense of care for someone else. Maybe this is just focused on something of desire and nothing that is loving or good or that's going to provide growth and flourishing for either of you. Okay? Another one is maybe you feel really possessive. So maybe that you feel like you want all of their time and they're never allowed to do something. Or maybe you feel like they're constantly needing to talk to you and you start to feel a little nervous about that and you feel like you have to make excuses for that. It's another huge indication that this isn't a healthy relationship. And maybe just even realizing you don't make each other better. So if you start seeing that you're lying a lot more, you're doing things you never would have done before, you don't like yourself as much, or you feel like they're changing in ways you don't really like, that's another huge indication that maybe this isn't a healthy relationship. And those are all things that talk to your leaders about, because they'll be able to say to you, hey, this is not normal and this is not healthy. And another huge thing, if you see that person and in your head you're thinking, I'm with them because I'll never do better. I'll never get someone that attractive. I'll never get someone that's smart or special. Or maybe just the idea, I don't think anyone could really love me, so I better hold on to this because this is the best I'm gonna get. That is a lie from the enemy, okay? You are valued, you are special, and you are deserving of respect and love. And if you're not receiving that in a relationship, then it's better off to wait until you are personally ready to recognize your own value and ready to ask for that from the person that you're with, okay? So important to realize that if you're in a relationship because you're afraid to be alone or you don't think you can do any better, you need to really think to yourself, who gives me value? Does the Lord give me value? Do I recognize that I'm worth loving? Or am I trying to receive that from someone else? Because that's when you're gonna get into really harmful and painful relationships where you're constantly seeking validation from someone who is not in a position to give it to you, even if they are a really great and healthy person. So those are just some ways to really think about if you're in a healthy relationship. What are you telling your friends and leaders? What are they saying about it? And most importantly, what are you afraid to tell them? And those are the most important things to tell them, especially your leaders. They will help you so much to know if a relationship is good or bad. If you feel like you're keeping all these secrets in your romantic relationship, that probably means that it's not founded on things that are going to long-term be good for you or for that person. So I hope that's helpful. Good luck out there and be wise. The Lord has given you everything you need to recognize that you have value and that the person you're with is going to affirm that value, and you together are going to be able to grow well. So keep those kinds of things in mind and stay out of unhealthy relationships. Bye.